8 ball though. I am so ready for this as well. This is a final as well, which really showcases just how strong the tier 2 is starting to get as well. These guys can take on top sides. They can scalp elite level teams, and now of course face off for the lion's share of that $100,000, and of course to be the champion here at Challenger Katowice. We'll kickstart things over towards Ancient. sAw start on the CT side. Bait start on the T side.
Expecting big things out of Bait here on Ancient. So far, just rushing straight up middle. Pretty simple, I guess, given a lot of space to get through, but they are prepared on that sAw side of things. Roman had already pulled back. He finds one head before going down, but he's getting so much information. It's the Julies, of course. This is what they do. The IGL making himself known as he takes 2 heads. Essential and Captain Kirker to do it all. Captain Kirker, he comes in late with a big kill. The bomb still in an awkward spot at the feet of Mutiris. He's moved around, picked up some utility. You can kind of tell by his movements on the server that he is indeed locked in, looking for that all-important headshot. Jerks has not really been spotted out too cleanly. Had an opportunity to make that easier, I suppose. Still leaves it down to the 1v1. Jerks nearly lets it slip. The 180 turn was there. The bullet just did not quite land.
So close, yet so far as well. sAw survive a bit of a scare. But the big thing is for Bait, looking pretty crisp out the gate as well. Essential, nice couple of shots coming through from him, which is exactly what we want to see. And right down to the wire there. Just not to be when it mattered most in that 1 versus 1. Head on a swivel on the 180, just couldn't quite convert on towards Jerks. Big way to start things off for sAw as well. Very good for the confidence. Huge nade going to come forward as well. A lot of damage, and the rifles will just mop them up. MPL going to get a consolation kill in the middle of this. And another from Captain Kirker, which I guess is a little silver lining, a little bit expensive, but all in all, doesn't really matter all too much. I'm glad to see as well, no force buy there out for Bait. So we're going towards a buy here in this next round, and I will give them a chance, getting the rifles out, start to set the tone, showcase against sAw what they can do. You know, the Death touching it, exact same Vita that we saw when they played only about a month ago in the qualifier for this tournament on LAN. Can Bait go 2 for 2 in a similar side of a series?
I mean, although Bait have looked good in this tournament, like I say, there's been an awful lot of close maps, you know, some overtimes, some potential slips. Mutiris would have heard that. Nade makes it in. It was actually the spam to finish off. The mid-aggression here from the CT side looking super effective. Now stepping up pretty massively into this final, not pulling any punches at all, just head trick remaining. Does manage to find one, but that is all she wrote for the round. The first rifle over as soon as it begins, it feels like.
Yeah, incredibly quick there as well. I've got to say, the mid-aggression coming out from sAw, really like that as well. Getting in towards that elbow control, starting to just put a bit of pressure on. We do see as well when sides feel maybe a little bit of timid kind of vibes, or the nerves are kind of settling in. They're not quite comfortable in towards the final. They can maybe take a bit of a step back on mid, play over towards Red Room.
Sure. Very
passive in towards Donor. And that does allow Bait to play their game. They like taking mid control and utilizing that to then go off decisions. So I like this from sAw. Very confident from them. Straight into starting this series, and probably more of the same coming through. Flash doesn't do anything, lining up as well as Roman gets 2. MPL and Essential fall with ease.
I think this is a game and ultimately a call-up for the sAw players that will allow players like Roman and Mutiris, and now Story and Jerks maybe also starting to join that conversation of like, look, these guys don't play in a lot of finals. This is a big deal for them. It is pressure, you know. You really don't understand it, do you, until you sit in the seat ready to go on the server. Like, I've just had it a little bit here before we get into it. It's like the stakes are higher, the atmosphere is lifted, and I think that sAw are trying to abuse that fact with all this relentless aggression to kick things off. It's like they are trying to prove we are comfortable here, you guys aren't, and that's how the game's going to play out, you know?
And you really see as well, the top teams, they realize kind of one thing ultimately, that pressure's a privilege, right? It means you've done something right. It means you've kind of built yourself in towards a tournament and started to show consistency all the way throughout. And this is something that sAw have done before. We've seen them make deep runs in tournament, you know, these fairy tale stories that have become maybe even a little bit common out for sAw because of what they've been proving in the server. And despite all the stuff outside of the server, with the changes they've been making, whether it's Aristosh for Agil, the coach, of course, of Barry getting dropped, and them sort of being in a bit of a limbo state in that sense, they still managed to put up really good performances throughout this tournament so far. And their side, who, obviously, as we've seen, to start off CT side, looking very, very clean. We're not really seeing them pull any punches. This is what we want. Second crack at a full buy for Bait. This one with a little bit more fleshed out Belter Util. Once again, though, not a lot of mid-control in the early portion here. Alex knows that he can't really afford to fight through there alone, and he has no shelf support either. So that's the big thing. If he maybe had a bit of shelf support, they could have maybe tested on that elbow control, but this time, they just can't.
It is immediately, though, sort of worrying signs for Bait. The first time out in towards mid doesn't really go so well for them, so they've pulled away. Rather than trying to readjust or give it another go or go for a late round play based on what they saw from sAw, they've just completely thrown that idea out for now, and they're going for the A play, it would look like. So again, that speaks well to sAw that they're able to get into the heads of their opponent. Speaking of heads, though, there's a headshot on the cards. Ujerks will be the one to take it. Agil on the site has gone down early. A late peek from Mutiris, finds two, stops the bomb plant for now, and the AWP came round to upset any hope of that plant. Once again, looking very good from sAw.
Yeah, massive from Mutiris there as well. The re-aggression's really smart. He picks his time perfectly to go in for a peek, but he's only expected to go 1-for-1 there. The transfer is eloquent. We love to see that. And sAw, we're loving what we're seeing out from them in the early portion of this game. Once again, that Mutiris little transfer was a beaut. Really enjoy seeing sAw on their game when they play in this lights out level of Counter-Strike. They're a tough side to break down. We've even seen tier 1 sides fall flat to them time and time again, especially until 2024. And the arguments would be that they are that kind of favorite, the overdog coming in towards this sort of a matchup, even though Bait beat them last time out. In terms of experience here in a final and deep in a playoff run, this is something that sAw have started to build in this year and started to at least become a little bit more common for them.
Yeah, and a great adjustment as well from them. We obviously saw at Atlanta the sAw side really kind of struggle. I think certainly surprised us with their finish there, and maybe a lot of that was because they knew it was somewhat of a last hurrah, you know, a weird situation going on for the team at that time. We didn't really know what was going on behind the scenes, still don't fully know. Coming into this tournament, though, there is one of the things where it's like, yes, you might have lost a good player, yes, you might have lost the coach that seemed to have such a massive effect on the team, but they have had a weight lifted off their shoulders that's obviously allowed them to just play a little less with the pressure. And at the moment, in the final, this looks like any regular old game for sAw. It does seem, you said it was indeed a privilege, but maybe they're not even feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I kind of half-jokingly was saying to Yumi in the green room, I was like, I can just see Bait going 5-0 down to start off this game and then maybe pulling something out of the bag as they wake up, right? And I didn't actually expect it to come to fruition here. This is the unfortunate thing that we see for Bait at times, though. They do just falter out of nowhere, and then it does take them a little bit of time to wake up. You know, nice little shutdown in this round, making sure the pistols get no leverage, no chance of the bomb plant, and not even a single kill. Even that's a luxury they can't afford right now. Elbow control, once again good. Nate goes deep. Mutiris wants to fight here, and he's at least keeping the pressure on. Doesn't need to stick around, but the beautiful thing is we're seeing sAw very early, as we mentioned, take this mid control, but shelf too. So it just gives 0 options in the early round for Bait. They're utilizing the util, and then they have to basically go for a double pump just to get a bit of map control, and then we've got to try and set up an execute off the back of it. sAw are making this a kind of like a 3-step process when it's normally just a 2-step. It's normally you take your map control because you've got the better spawns, and then we go for an execute. And unfortunately for Bait, they look very off the ball, especially in comparison to what we saw on map number 3 against Pain.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it is a real surprise here, of course. This map has done very well for them. But this is one of the difficulties. We'll see how the attack in towards A, the contact play goes. Ujerks left very, very low indeed. Man advantages there. They just want to make sure that they hold on to that. sAw not giving the fight at all. Not really any utility remaining here for Bait. They're going to have to try and cook something up, and immediately flattened. Completely telegraphed, completely predicted there by Story on the AWP. And yet another moment of sAw's prowess being shown here.
And it's such an odd decision of kind of what do we even do now? We have no information. Is there anybody towards mid? Has somebody wrapped in through our spawn, right? These are all things they have to be a little bit cautious of. And Ujerk's making a move, and he will actually labor that spray a little bit. So sAw does get a moment to bring something back, but this round's off the cards. There's 7 seconds left. They can't go towards the site. They have no information. They're so scared about somebody flanking all the way from B that they're just going to shell up and keep hold of these AKs. Awful spot they're in. I think Bake have sort of got to buy back in towards the next one because of the double eco situation that sAw and MPL find themselves in. But it's very smooth sailing for sAw on this CT side. 7-0, not breaking a sweat. Not even, even the luxury like a bomb plant is something that would help Bait in this situation in some way. They're not even getting there. We're not even getting to a point of making these rounds competitive yet.
Just breaking the pace of sAw ultimately, you know what I mean? Even if you don't, like you say, get the round, I think that it is just paramount for your own game as well. And this is one of the big things that I think may well go overlooked into a grand final of a tournament. Obviously, you get this break in between semi and final for Bait.
Yeah.
They have just played this map. They have just finished on this map. It's now an entirely different team, an entirely different way of Counter-Strike. You've just spent all that time kind of adjusting, and unfortunately, it's not working. What you were doing against Paint's not really working here. So it is a very, very confusing mind state to be in. I kind of had a different word to use there, but I'm not sure it's as broadcast friendly. But well, you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
and you can even see when you look across Bait in terms of the position they're in. We've been speaking about how much they've been struggling in mid and elbow, and Alex is the elbow player. He's 0-8. I mean, he dies there with a bit of mid control. And MPL might have a drop, and he will get a kill. Materis finds one. Captain Kirker on the drive-by as well for one of his own, but Story still staying alive, and it puts Hedrick into a near impossible 1 versus 3, surely. Does get 2. Hedrick's made this a possibility. Tap one towards the bomb as he looked for the 3rd. You're wondering, where is Akil? No information gain, but 35 seconds on the clock, and he has a chance to rotate back over towards the A side. And he's got that perfect timing too. Agil is still just cautious. Has he moved in towards Cave? Is he just going for a bit of a double pump and going to double back towards B? But that is not to be, as the bomb will go down, and it makes it very difficult now. Retake is definitely on the cards. Full belter util for Agil, a kit as well to work with. And Hedrick's taking a tag, so it makes the M4 in that range of the 1 bullet headshot. But Agil going to take his time as well. Very cautious, moving round. Hedrick wants to fight, and it might actually work in his favor. Might try and catch Agil. Oh, but he turns his back! And that's going to be a clutch from Agil in the 1 versus 1. Hedrick makes it so close, but it's not close enough.
Not what they wanted, man. Bait need a break here. They need to catch something. They just have not got themselves into this game at all. That's the closest they've come, maybe even in the entire game, to be honest with you. And then it's luck that works against them. So really, the slow build-up, the attempt just not happening for them, and I think they will start to get very frustrated here. And as you know, we may well be getting it during this replay, but no timeouts or anything like this. I think their heads are maybe going here. They've really got to be careful. And as we've touched on a number of times with this Bait squad and their, sort of close maps and everything, who is the voice to step forward? Who is the voice to just kind of calm everybody down?
Exactly.
We don't really know. There's not much in terms of the experience here. Agil goes a little deep. Will lose his head early on. A big find for Bait. They have to convert this now.
Yeah, maybe a bit of overconfidence off the back of that clutch. He tries to get proactive, and he gets so deep in. He probably should have just held that position. Even traditionally, you're normally good for 1 in that spot. But it wasn't the case. Minute to work with. It looked like they want to take a bit of cave control. sAw will be that first point of contact. With the numbers in their favor, now's the time to just play that body system. We kind of saw in the interview yesterday where this sort of Wolfpack style that they're so good at is something that makes Bait quite scary. And there we go. Trey's going 1 for 1 is very good. A smoke down towards short and a bit of space to work with. This will isolate Ujerk, but he gets a Molotov to make his life easier. Is he going to be clear? The answer is going to be yes as well. But what's the support like? Not good enough. This finally has to be a Bait round. I think Story just saves.
Yeah, it has to, man. There's no real option to get back into this round, so he will take this AWP and back away. There's plenty plenty of money available. I'm sure he might overstay his welcome to try and get an exit frag. But really keen take coming in from Bait. Maybe it does come off the back of some aggression, but like they can now say to themselves, okay, we got put in a good situation, we converted, maybe there isn't too much to panic about just yet. This is now on sAw. How do they turn things around? They've got those timeouts we were talking about as well. So could easily slow the game down and just, again, ice Bait out.
Yeah, it's even such a small thing, but that is the first round. So it took 9 rounds for Bait to get an opening kill. I mean, that in itself has always been the issue that we've seen so far. They're playing every single round at a man disadvantage. Thankfully, this time, not to be. Captain Kirker gets gifted a freebie and all slots itself into place. He ends up actually with a really nice round under his belt. 3 kills to his name. Does very, very well to give them that comfort in this one. Still yet to see Alex get on the board. 0-8 he finds himself. He has been somebody who, you know, Lisa Masters coming in towards ESL Challenger, somebody who looked very solid for Bait and was not always looked at on this side in terms of the firepower, but has become incredibly important to their success. My God, do they need him at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They have to have these individuals step up. There's a few names that you got to rely on. MPL, for me, has been a pretty standout player, actually.
Agreed.
For Bait. Definitely was in that previous series. But yeah, he's done a very good job. When maybe we've talked about the lack of experience, he potentially has had to grow up real fast. You know, when you, I'm sure you get that call up to Na'Vi, it's a dream come true. But then you've got some uncertainty, some weirdness going on, and it can affect your game. Some players don't recover from that. Speaking of not recovering, sAw again have just met them on the other side of smokes here. Story to take down Hedrick as the final frag, and yeah, just a flurry of kills. sAw with the immediate response. Bait, it is worst case scenario, man. Really, really poor. Yeah,
he's super confident at the moment as well for Story, which is what we want to see. This is a side who are not looking even remotely uncomfortable in this grand final. There are plenty of time to prepare, plenty of time to get ready for whoever they were going to be facing. And they look so stoic in the server. It's just so easy right at the end here as well, Story. You can just see he's so happy to fight. He knows that even if he was to fall as well, there was no risk. He had support, and it was a 1 versus 5. So 9-1 is the scoreline. Attack pause called once again by Bait as Madden enters in towards the fray, and I mean, I don't even know what he can say at the moment. This is a side that looks completely checked out. They look like a shadow of their former selves.
Yeah, man, and I think it has to come earlier. I hate to harp on the point, but it feels too little too late here. You're really just playing damage control, really just playing recovery at this point, and it is on your map. You've, of course, got the famous Nuke coming up next from sAw, potentially, if you're a Bait fan. Infamous. I'm sure if you're a Bait player, you are going to be worried. That's always in the back of your mind. It's not necessarily a gimme, and it's not necessarily a map that they are unfamiliar with. Again, another one that they played in the semi-final, but they did lose it. So, yeah, you know, it's a rough old run in that sense. If you can't get off the ground on your own map, surely we are expecting the opponent's map to go downhill as well. Roman. Ridiculous. You've got to be joking. I do have to start feeling for Bait at some point. There's a lot of moments where it's like, damn, yeah, what can you do about that?
Yeah, you can't even say that MPL's done anything wrong there. He just gets unlucky. Roman fancies himself for a second. Could catch a Senthial, but it goes the other way. So that'll give a bit of jag control. Maybe where we can start moving our way forward towards B. A decent setup, you jokes. If he can go 1-for-1 here, that's okay. But that eludes him. And same for Agil as well. B-side broken open. And a 2 versus 3, but very doable. Look at the HP bars over towards that of Bait. Gutierrez, his shadow will betray him. Senthial now waiting for the fight. And he might even try and pull over a bit of a rotate for support. They're just a bit scared of a flank. Gutierrez, he will clear this. Takes a bit of time, but at the same time, Senthial and Hedrick both fall simultaneously. Down goes Alex. 0-10 for him and 10 for sAw. Oh man, it just keeps going from bad to worse.
It's a difficult role here. I mean, yeah, again, Bait putting themselves in a position that felt somewhat winnable, but they just can't do it. And it is that flow state, the smile on the face of Gutierrez, as he knows this game is really in their hands now. After a half like this, even if they lose the next round, should absolutely be a final worth taking and a performance deserving of it so far.
Yeah, there's surely just nothing Bait can do. And you can just see sAw getting fired up. And too right. What a game we're seeing out from them. Hedrick gonna get boosted up. Opening kills, like we said, they've really been eluding them. Howard, as we head towards the 12th round of play, it's only one round so far where they found an opener, and it will continue. Roman gets the first. Ascendial will trade, but Ujoke's only good for one. Still a chance here for Bait.
Potentially, Hedrick with a big kill on the orb. It is this one on the backside that makes all the difference between Sirius. Is the unlikely top fragger here. Has been absolutely flattening them. McGill going to catch Hedrick as the Molotov rains through. Opts to take the fight with Sirius with the spam, and again, as I said, honestly, nothing going right for Bait. They clean up the site, they get the bomb down, but I think the gods of Counter-Strike certainly in the favor of the Portuguese here this afternoon.
Just got the news that you're still in town, looking for a safe place to hide. Well, you better close your window and lock the door, 'cause I'm gonna get you tonight. And I know where you are, so look sharp, 'cause here I come, I'm close, so get ready and watch out. Love has a way of seeing through all of your wants and the shadow of doubt. So just get dressed and know for sure I'm on my way to take you out. And I know where you are, so look sharp, 'cause here I come, I'm close, so get ready and watch out, 'cause here I come. And I know where you are, so look sharp, 'cause here I come, time's up, better be ready, can't stop me now, no, 'cause here I come, here I come, here I come.
It's the arrival. I came in the league, went straight for the title. No time to idle. I'm finna get it, put that on the Bible. This is survival. Gotta treat every move made like the final. One by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Hey, look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since Auto. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out, they flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my...
We may well be over as quickly as we have begun here. sAw sending a statement with that first half, 11-1. What can Bait really do? Even if they have a good CT half here, it has to be out of this world in order to come back. I'd even argue those odds look pretty good to me. So, you know, like, this is kind of crazy, but we'll see. Maybe Bait can do it on their CT side. Give us a bit of something to talk about.
Yeah, 11-1 towards sAw, and, you know, if you flip Alex's deaths and kills, that's the KD he's working with right now. It's been a rough display from Bait. Bomb down already. They're not even contesting as that plant comes through, and MPL will be that first contact. Goes well. Oh, what a second as well. Oh, the third behind it. MPL picks his moment to come alive. What a time to get a quad kill. Whenever Bait needed someone to step up, it's the man in the middle, and MPL picks it perfectly. What a quad kill.
Well, here we go. That might just be the beginning of this comeback. Certainly one way to get it kicked off. Definitely going to make you feel good about yourself, but can you get the rest of the team rallied around you, I suppose, is the big question. Somewhat of a rivalry between these squads, of course, and a lot of prep coming in, moving forwards into the RMRs. Could very much be a scary story. They'll probably meet, or have to meet, at the major, if it is to be again, in different RMRs.
Yeah.
To be fair, but all the same, the preparation game is still there, and I think that you want to be able to prove that you're towards the top end of the tier 2 teams.
Cynthia moves out towards Shelf. They should know roughly where they are by kind of the initial point of contact that we've had. Yeah, they got a right idea. A bit of a spam there. Doesn't do too much. With U-Jerks taking his pop shots, he's getting pretty close, and he will get a tag on towards MPL. And a second behind it as well.
Decent damage. Can they capitalize on it? You want to keep Bait worried. You want to keep Bait scared. Make sure you don't let them find these rounds super clean. But unfortunately, it is going to be that happening to sAw here. So now's the time to shut them down early, right? I think we talk about it a lot. We talk about the potential comebacks. We're always here for a bit of excitement, especially in a one-sided game. You want it to be competitive. You want it to be exciting for a final. I think I would take your timeouts early. You know what I mean? Like,
agreed.
Err on the side of caution. 2 or 3 rifle rounds going against you, and you have to say, okay, maybe Bait can actually do this.
That's true. We saw that first full buy for sAw. AK's out, but Story in towards Khalil as he brings in just a little bit more utility. Materis plays out in front of this as well. Smoke in towards Red Room gets broken open by the nade. They don't spot as well the little lurking presence in via elbow. I like this from Materis. He's not a commit. He's just sticking around to show presence. Nice swing from Roman. Nice find. I feel like Ascenthia should have got the kill there, but the fact that he doesn't will make things a little awkward. Materis, he tries to get 2, and he delivers as well. Oh, it's falling apart in a matter of moments.
Unbelievable. I mean, what a tournament Materis and Roman are having. You know, the old guard, the ones that you expect to look at the situation that's unfolded before them within the team and go, you know what, screw this. I can't be bothered anymore. Like, I've played enough. I've had my high of the career, making it to the semi-finals of Cologne, you know, big game, all this kind of stuff.
Got my sticker in the game,
exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, you maybe expect them to be a bit like Challenger Katowice. We got the RMRs coming up. Do we really want to put our best foot forward here? And they have. Yeah. These guys have taken up the mantle. Materis in this game, I think Roman in particular, across the course of the tournament, to just be the guy to fill the gaps and not complain and keep it going. Still having fun, so I'm winking at the camera once or twice.
True.
Cool guy, I suppose, but brilliant round out from them in general. Speaks to their ability.
Wow.
U-Jerk's going to lead the charge in this one, though, as that entry, the spam through the wood is good, but it doesn't find the frag, doesn't stop that bomb from going down.
Needed just one more bullet, and Roman would have been 6 feet under. Not to be, and it feels like this could be all over before it even really begins, unfortunately. 5 versus 3, bomb down, and time ticking on this retake as well. Agil holding, and he might have heard, yeah, he definitely hears these steps in towards Shelf. Could be in trouble here. The first and the second lined up, dropped down, not even any sort of due diligence to clear him in towards Cubby. And the last one, Ascenthia, he was spamming them earlier. So they've got the right idea. This one is more or less wrapped up and done here. And sAw buying some time to maybe see if he can get a kill or something at the end. Will not be. Flawless round and a near flawless map of Counter-Strike from sAw. Absolutely ridiculous.
A wake-up call for Bait for sure. The young plucky team that we've been excited about for quite a while now. A lot of really, really good individuals. Seemed like they'd started to come together a run of a land before this and into this tournament. The way that it's gone, the trajectory, up and up and up. Predictable. So we'll see what Bait have got for us in the pistol. Not so good thus far. The ramp push comes out solid. Alex is in behind though with the Julies. He is being watched for. Roman's got to find this frag and Alex gives him no attention at all. Well read, well played. And now the run of the mill for sAw. The bomb is down, but they don't necessarily have to rush the plant quite yet.
Gil as well holding for a wrap from hell. So even if they want to try and reclaim a little bit of ramp control to support NPL here, it's going to be very, very difficult for Captain Kirka. And already starts to fight. Will dip back up and towards the top side to go for that long rotate. He's the one with the kit. But as I mentioned, bomb's not down yet. We're just sort of trying to figure out where is NPL. Now we found him. So FC Made goes back down towards double door. Door will be open. Captain Kirka on the brink of being dropped from this round. And a 2 versus 4 post-bomb. This feels nigh on impossible, surely. Captain Kirka, he will fall surely in just a moment. He's so low. And the Julie should do the job. He's struggling. And he needs a reload as well. He's getting chased out of there. It will be sAw getting the pistol. It's not going to make a difference there. I mean, maybe we just keep hold of the kit, but I mean, who cares, really?
It is a weird situation for him. He's hanging out on the ladder. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, he has to get on this perfectly. He's surely going to be hurt here, yeah. Oh my God! Hanging around, can't land the bullet. The headshot is just comical from Captain Kirka. He's been a nuisance. He's been annoying, of course. Not able to take the round. It is an attempt made, and as you say, what's the point in saving there? Might as well try and go for something. You never know what you're going to get away with in the grand final here, but not today, not in this game of Nuke.
Still, good to see from sAw as well, just continuing that dominant display as well for them. It all started quite well, Headtrick getting the first, but then they just get decimated off the back of it. sAw, Headtrick, Alex and NPL all fall in quite quick succession. And it really leaves absolutely nothing to work with. That 2 versus 4 was sort of dead upon arrival. So sAw, get the first. We will see that force buy out for Bait. It's something they like, but it does worry me always. But I think we're getting to a point now where maybe taking a gamble is better than nothing for Bait, because they didn't gamble and they were quite timid in towards Ancient, and it cost them.
Yeah. Good to see them coming up with something creative here. U-Jerks does take the first. NPL, however, takes his teammate. He's left low. They will both kind of shake hands and walk off. Nice find from Captain Kirka, though, with the lobby push. So we've got lots of different ideas coming in from Bait, as you have so rightly pointed out. Not much of that on Ancient. What can sAw do to recover here? Trying to send the bomb slowly around, but the main contingent is looking for the heaven presence. sAw is very ready with this 5-7 round the corner, but U-Jerks knows his angles. Of course he does. It's Alex down below that may well see this one off.
Gil, 1 versus 3. Knows there was one below him. He can hear him as well. So it should be a free kill. It will. Back turn. Down he goes, but a quick trade coming through from Captain Kirka will mean Bait bite back. Make that force buy work. And now we can start to build on something. Now there's a chance, right? These force buys, they're pretty inconsistent for Bait when they try and pull them out. It's something they love doing. This one, a lot better, because they just don't play a default. They try and do something. They try and see if they can be the ones to dictate the pace of this round. So it's just nice. I mean, we didn't see that at all in that previous map. It's just a little bit of a fresh idea. NPL's called for a bit of an aggro play, a lobby crunch at the same time doing a secret push. That's just good proactivities. That's all I can ask for from Bait, but it's something that it can't be a flash in the pan.
We've already seen from sAw in their pistol, and I'm sure people coming into this know their Nuke is very chaotic, right? It usually is a very structured map, particularly on the T side. sAw have kind of taken those rules and changed them. I think Bait in that previous round, at the very least, have attempted to match them at their own game and then have. So that's something that we talk about, this mental game, may well knock sAw back a little bit. You know, I saw at the end, Agil cut to him, and it was sort of a well kind of moment on his face. They can pick up rounds. They can come up with ideas and confuse us. Oh, serious, beautiful shot from him. great first map coming out. He'll be looking to tap back into that once again. MPL, bit too deep.
There's a gun to work with there if they want to go and pick it up. Looks like at the moment that's not the priority. The Pistols are grouping up together and they're starting to wrap towards outside. Alex spotted out in towards main. He definitely doesn't want to be facing a long-range Deagle, that's for sure. And sAw are now waiting to see whether Bait try and react to them and overextend a bit, see if they can get another kill in their favor. Story could be a bit of trouble. Nade doesn't exactly make its direction, so this could be a pop towards A.
Yeah, we'll see Alex down below once again. He found great success from here in the previous round, and this time they deal with him much better. Captain Kirk is still alive and could, with a choice bullet, find the key headshot, but it's Roman that returns it back onto him. Head trick now, rolling in from behind. He does have late support from sAw. Not super close to get the trades in. Are they even really going to give this a look in? It would appear yes. Angle checked half-arsedly will cost the life of the first. sAw still does have the kit. Some keen headshots could make all the difference here. He's going to forego the M4. May well be a soft save from him, as he doesn't want to cross the threshold into the squeaky door. Indeed, he will take that M4 and get out of there once it's sort of confirmed. Again, still sticking around, so never giving anything away for free, but sAw back in with their force buy. So this is messy, and I think that sAw will be happy that this is the way that it has begun. It allows them again to just get down in the dirt, and gloves off kind of Counter-Strike is what they're all about.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the way that sAw want to play Counter-Strike on Nuke. They want this bare-knuckle brawl. They want to really start to make you feel super uncomfortable, have no real luxuries in terms of map control. And I just think as well, they like this tempo shifts mid to late round as well, as you saw there with that pop towards the top site. Really well done. And of course, a force by one with a lot less being brought to the table. I mean, even the spit on the monitor there as well. That's how hyped up they're getting. Had to wipe it off after. But it will be a pretty early tack pause, which I'm actually a fan of. We saw the tack pause come so late for Bait. They were like 8-0 down. It's like, at that point, like, what is actually the point? You know, you've already lost the map at this point. So calling that tack pause then, we were kind of thinking, what is actually the point here? Madden will get in the mic, in the conversation a lot earlier, which I'm already a fan of. Unfortunately, though, we might just see a response of a force buyout for Bait, but they're just going to bring so little. Even MP9s might be a bit of a struggle if they want any sort of util. But they actually are getting them out. The only issue is, though, like we said, they don't really have a lot to work with. We've got one M4, one FAMAS. FAMAS got no util. A couple of the MP9s running a little dry as well. They can't fake anything. They can't fake any presence. They've got to hold their util in case they need it for a retake.
Yeah, it's not fantastic, but again, keeping on them here, trying to nip at the heels really does speak to the fact that Bait have reset their mental and look a hell of a lot better, much more proactive, as we've been complimenting them on. Early nade damage onto Mutiris. Gonna burst out the ramp. Kind of contact, to be honest, and straight into the stack. Each one of them chiming in with a kill. All too easy, the setup too tough, and unfortunately with that style of burst, where the players were already out before the first flash came in, it's just going to play into the hands of Bait. Even if they lose one, I think they would have picked up the ramp control there.
Yeah, well played. I think for sAw, in a weird way, they might actually just call to save here. That M4 in particular is something that they'd like to keep alive, and the Galil is, I guess it's not the best thing in the world, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, it's going to be a long, just shy of a minute save for sAw in this one. And it will be Bait bouncing back. So we have a competition here. We have at least something out from Bait. And it might just be indicative of them coming alive here in map number 2, which is so needed from them. Give them a chance here in this final. Mutiris and Roman, the old guard will keep hold of what they've got if they can. It's looking like they're not going to be tested with the hunt at the tail end too. Bait will just surround that bomb. Make sure there's no chance of a flank, and it will be those final 20 or so seconds. And also a really good opportunity for, especially the experienced guys, and Mutiris and Roman, just to converse themselves and say, right guys, what went wrong there? What's the planning towards the next round?
Once more into the breach for Mutiris and Roman. They've had coloured careers, I think it is safe to say. You know, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. A hard region to play in, man.
Yes.
You know, we were talking...
Not a huge amount of opportunities,
exactly,
really.
Exactly. And, you know, talent as well is a big thing. Really can be difficult. We were sort of spitballing about, you know, why maybe Brazilian players have not come across, vice versa. But sAw have always stuck to the same mission directive, at least as a squad. Maybe organizationally things are not all peaches and cream.
Well, we have a somewhat buy to work with. 2 more Galils picked up and a Deagle around what they saved. Once again, Utah a little thin. This time for the T side. But they will get those outside smokes to give them the ability to cross. The nade going to come over, but actually goes just a tad early here. So the nade comes out towards Secret, and then they start to make a move. And it gives them the chance to group up. sAw really happy to do this. Slow the round down, play as this pack, and then try and overwhelm. Alex just jumping for information. He'll get it in a moment. We're looking for that boost, but it's over towards double door stairs. I don't think we're going to do the same. No, we're not. We're just going for a dry peek. That'll give Alex the ability to rotate away, but then doors are open, so he's under pressure here. He's got to hit the shot, and he can't. Ujak swings and finds, and now things start to look awkward as Ascential gets tagged up low.
Well, we can't find the vent there, I think, is what's just happened. That's a little bit awkward as he came through staring at the floor. Yeah, I have. Not in the grand final of Challenger event, though, to be fair. So he'll be a bit frustrated himself. At the very least, he has slowed down the CT rotations, right? I think with the confusion and the presence, they've taken a moment to go, okay, is there anyone else around? What the hell's going on? So, before we really make any substantial progress, the bomb is already halfway ticked. Going to have to move fast here. Mutiris in for one. A second from him at the single door is maybe all they need. MPL's going straight in for the hold. Will he get away with it? No, he won't. Mutiris, the IGL, he knows this bomb site well, and another big round coming through from the in-game leader.
Yeah, huge to see as well. And now we, once again, as we've kind of this flip-flop style of Counter-Strike, it actually is still beneficial towards the T-side as the main thing. They're so happy to keep flipping back and forth. The issue that we have to look towards Bait, though, is can they get a bit of consistency out? Can we see consecutive rounds put on the board for them at any point? And at the moment, it's not to be, right? And this is a CT side that has to build up. Normally, we say 5 rounds T-side Nuke is pretty good, and sAw aren't too far away. Agil needs to be careful. Story, the first of 4. The spam, the response is great. As Roman and Agil combine. Bomb denied. This is carnage. It's chaos. sAw like it, but it can work against them. The pace can be the thing that chokes them out.
Yeah, there is always potential for those trades. Bait have got a lot of players around to facilitate that. Some body work coming in to get that bomb down. Mutiris creating space for Roman. They are both left really quite low. Agil's healthy, but he's on a Mach 10, right? So the odds are stacked against sAw here on this retake. Pressure is on. The nade doesn't land very well at all. Agil trying to do a bit more damage to himself, I suppose. Level the playing field, he says, because the Mach 10 doing great work here. No kit available for Bait. No way in.
Time.
And no way home. They're out. They are indeed out of this one. sAw will take the unlikely round. That felt like a decent retake, but all this damage, it's unconfirmed. They don't know how fast and thick they could play.
Yeah, well played. Really well played from sAw. Just in that carnage of that situation, make it work for them. Agil does go down to the bomb, but it doesn't really bother sAw all too much. Couple of saves that come through for this Bait side, but money is very thin. I mean, coming in towards that round, 3 out of 5 players had $0 left in the bank balance. They're flat broke, and that might affect them in terms of what sort of buy we see. They might even go for some sort of half investment. We have seen actually Madden there calling for another attack pause, and I think he's right to do so. This is still not the style of Counter-Strike that Bait want to be playing. And like you can see on that left-hand side, not a lot of funds to go around. So I don't really think we're going to be buying here, if I'm honest, for Bait. We can talk about risks and taking gambles and all the rest, but now's not the time for me. This is the time where we try and facilitate those rifles as best we can, but I think the primary angle is probably trying to keep them alive in towards the next round, or try and wait for a buy in towards the next round. I still want to see Hedrick on an AWP. We still haven't seen that yet. Of course, didn't get any chance to do so in that previous map. Especially when Story had a couple of moments. Granted, it was primarily the rifles doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Indeed.
Ascential needs to be careful. There's one top main. Yeah, he just completely oblivious to the position that Ujak was playing. He had no idea that he got there that quickly.
Ujuk standing out a little bit more in the recent rounds, to be honest with you. Good confidence from him. It feels like there's a few of these moments where they're leaving him out to dry to, get aggressive on his own. He went double down below in one of the rounds, and the rest of the team went single. But he still manages to find the kills despite the fact MPL is close to the action here. Nade nearly takes him out. Head tricks up top. Yes, he's got a kill. He's got an AK, but he doesn't have any armor, right? And there's 0 utility. So, not going to happen. Bait will take the save. They will take the one-tap potential, the extra money for the utility.
Yeah, in a way, it's like a slight upgrade. They had 2 M4s coming in, now they've got an AK. It's like, I guess it's better than nothing. A small sort of silver lining. This round was a non-starter anyway, just because they didn't have anything to support. Even if it was like upgraded pistols, like 5.7s, or even 5.7s but a half armor, then we could talk about, okay, the round maybe has some legs behind it. Not this time, though. So, pretty smooth 5th. And then for my money, I'm already sitting pretty happy here. 5 rounds, T-side nuke, and in the fashion they found them to. Not only just the rounds themselves, but in these slightly scrappy style of Counter-Strike, which sAw like to play, they actually just look mechanically so crisp, right? And that's the big thing for me, that it's not going to slow down on the CT side by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after a shaky start as well, won the pistol, lost the follow-up, we often see those types of games really drag out, really go back and forth, and maybe eventually towards the middle of the half, one of the teams will figure it out and string a few together. But sAw pretty quickly dealt with that situation. Didn't take them as long, didn't get super messy. And again, Bait maybe trying to match them in their own game with a bit of chaos here, but sAw are very ready. Story holding the edge of that smoke like he's seen it before, but maybe not ready for the presence behind. His teammates will get caught by the aggression eventually. Roman doing one of his own. Kind of goes the wrong way, but he's dipped in. Got himself into a good position here. You can see him being very vocal on the camera, trying to convey this info. Great catch onto Alex, and still a fantastic spot for him to work with, and one that is so hard to pin down. Whereabouts is he? Don't rightly know, and he is now looking to run rampant, creating so much space. Is the bomb with him? They don't know, but it's just been seen there on the way down.
Then that actually makes Roman's position really strong, because they're thinking they're going towards B, and
No
my
way.
God, why is Captain Kirker turned around there? Why is he even checking heaven? They've just seen the bombs gone secret.
Wow.
What 80?
Someone in the comms has said, yo, remember one could be heaven. And he's gone,
yeah,
let me have a look.
Like, I was only looking hell, guys. He could have jumped up. Just be careful. I was like, I'll have a look.
Because I thought he was surely dead to rights by just, not giving it any attention. But that's kind of crazy.
Ooh.
That's an aggressive peek, would you not say? I mean, Captain Kirker maybe had a clearer path down the vent than he would have realized. sAw does know that Mutiris is all alone, and his head will roll. Hold on to the bomb coming in. Story's got to try and deal with this. Hasn't even heard it. On the AWP as well. Can't spray in, and sAw's played it perfectly. A big win for Bait.
It's got to be said as well. Story's angle there towards the top site when he's outside is so strong if his teammate stays alive a little longer. And I think just the fact that Mutiris falls a little bit too early for me. I think the way you should be trying to play around that is inside of the smoke. Just be that unknown quantity. Where has he gone? Did he manage to dip away? Has he eluded me in and around the smoke? Has he gone up on high and towards rafters? Keep him guessing. Doesn't happen. sAw. Good round from him. I'm glad we're seeing at least a couple sort of come alive here. I mean, in particular, Alex, he was unfortunately really poor in towards map number 1. He seriously struggled. He went 2 and 13. And by his metrics, one of his worst performances, not even just kind of this tournament, but this year. He's really ramped up in 2024 and had real nice moments of impact, but we didn't see any of that towards Ancient. So at least we're seeing spots of it here and towards Nuke. sAw still pretty happy in the spot that they're in. And this is a pretty important round. This is a swing round. Both sides don't have any long-term econ, and loss bonus isn't full for either side. So it's one of those where whoever wins this breaks the economy to the side, not only gets one round, but basically gets gifted a second behind it as well.
Story waiting, hoping to catch some aggression once the presence comes in downstairs. Headtrick has found Roman. So not a good start here for sAw. Do they want to commit? And maybe with Story again being a nuisance up top, the answer is going to be no. The bomb has pulled away, and now again they've got this outside control. It's a lot of what sAw desire on this map. They really do play around it well, and what are they going to do with it? You know, do you send players up? Do you maybe move into hell? Nobody really knows, and Headtrick gets caught off by the timing. Head pops up, takes him down. Oh, in the rafters, sAw maybe has a good spot, but he bails on it, doesn't trust himself to hold the angle, will move down. Captain Kirk has been heard and finished off. And sAw showing exactly why you've got to be careful. They take an inch and they will turn it into a mile.
It's actually just masterfully played there as well. From a man disadvantage, they've done absolutely everything right. Literally don't take a step wrong off the back of it. Story waits patiently for a fight to come towards him, and he takes it, and then they isolate Jules behind it too. I mean, so well done. You jerks a full hit to Alex, but it's just not going to make a difference at all, and there's no chance of saving. That's for damn sure, as Agil will confirm that fact. Honestly, that is a really good round from sAw. The way in which they've played that from the 4 versus 5, Headtrick finds Roman to start that round off, and then they just wait. They don't panic. They don't get flustered in the situation. Story, he barely has anything to work with there to Pixel. All the fights just fall into place. Agil does super well, and well, that's an 8-take for you right there. Very impressive stuff, and it must be such a tilting round for Bait. Taking that advantage and letting it slip again. That's not the first time it's happened.
Alex holding keen here, as he's the only one with any substantial weaponry into this round. He's trying to bait a peek into him, I think. Yeah, and he does go down. Story laser beams him out through that smoke, and ultimately that's going to be the most dangerous player in the round dealt with. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is over, but a nice find to just ease some pressure.
What a shot. No right to really hit that, but that's the sort of form sAw are in right now. All the fortune in their favor. And Story wanting to be a little proactive here. He's wanting to try and see if he can crack it open himself. I like this backside, though. Will they clear them? Yeah, with ease. The pistols might get a consolation kill or two. No, that'll elude them. Just one left. This MPL and a Deagle down in towards the vents, and he is being held for a little bit. I mean, Story had the Tech 9 out, but I don't know if MPL's even really going to look at. He might just try and save the half armor, as sad as that sounds.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's going to be some guns around as well, so he might be able to grab something. Story is savvy, as he will get one of them out of there at the very least. They seem to have a good idea that he's in that vent. Maybe he made a step earlier on in the round. Making his way here for the finish, of course. Oh, there you go. He's going to go up late as he's hearing footsteps. Try and get the catch. And he does time it well. In for one, in for two. Lovely stuff. AK retrieved. And Story, of course, wants to keep his AWP. MPL knows his numbers and will survive there on the edge of lobby. So, I mean, they'll take that. They'll take that. A couple of kills out from him makes it expensive. And, of course, the AK moving forward.
It's a silver lining. It's a nice little thing to have, but it's a pretty dark situation they still find themselves in. I mean, that was a round in which we're not expecting a lot out from. They have one MP9 and a few upgraded pistols, so actually 4 kills out of 5 isn't actually too bad. We can talk about the slight positives to work with, but the real negative is that sort of guaranteed bare minimum a lead on the T side of Nuke. That's never what you want to be hearing. Bait are still in a real dire spot here. On towards our side, you just got the right idea as well. He's waiting and holding for just a pixel to work with. Smoke going to come down over towards front main. So that should nullify MPL in just a moment. They haven't got the outside control, so that's a very risky peek from Story, and it feels quite unnecessary too.
Oh! NPL with a beautiful find as he covers his man. Another over-aggressive peek as they feel pretty confident about themselves moving into the latter stages of the first half. They are wrong. Headtrick can still hit shots. 3-piece for him. Roman is potentially going to give us another long save here. There's really no world in which he wins this one. The damage is not going to mean anything. So yes, he will just hold chit-chat into the final round of the half. They'd love to deny that 5 away. You know, 4 always feels very on the edge. But not much else coming out of this round, unfortunately, folks.
Yeah, not a single outside smoke for me feels very, very weird. I mean, we're just trying to take raw contact fights against a full buy. We know it's a full buy because we know they lowbought in towards that previous round. So there should be expectations with the save coming through and then the lack of investment, that there will be an AWP in play for Hedrick. So he just gets a shooting gallery towards outside. It's freebies at 1x1 peek in and 1x1 fall. So we'll see Roman keep hold of this AK. He should be fine. They are wrapping outside, but I just don't know if they go all the way around towards T-side roof to see him off. So he'll keep hold of this AK-47. That's one thing to work with at the very least, but yeah, it felt like a very weird round for sAw. They try and change it up, which, you know, we're always a fan of, sure, but the way in which they go about it. The idea is great, the execution, not so much. Dry fight against an AWP, MPL not cleared in towards lower mini. And it's, yeah, 0-2 easy. So, looking towards this final round of the half, and actually at the buy for this sAw side, it's not going to be incredible. There will be one drop that can come through. You know, Roman, he had no cash left in the back pocket, so it's going to be a little scrappy, and yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You get a triple Glilm, and a Gil can only go in towards a Tech 9. And even then, once again, Utah a little thin.
I mean, the call is just probably the fact that without him saving the AK, there wouldn't have been an AK. So,
yes, yeah.
You know, they're going to try and put him in dangerous positions, I suppose. Really, really bare bones here, but we'll see. These are the pocket rounds, the opportunities to kind of flex your muscles a little bit as a team, as an identity. So we'll see what sAw are able to cook up here. It seems to be more of a fake outside with those smokes as the main contingent is ready to go in towards A. Roman nearly catching one, dedicates to the fight. Captain Kirk are going to get two, but he's going to be caught reloading here and will indeed fall. Maybe now they can do something with this, but again, the main areas, you know, are not smoked off because of the lack of nade, but they just overstep. Story finds two on the AK from down below, leaving it all onto Hedrick, who is this man throwing the flashes, going back to pick up a little bit more utility. And he is left 1 versus 3. And of course, the smoke retrieved off the floor is enough to see him out. He's just going to have to wait or maybe try and go for a reposition. He's hoping that there's somebody around he can pick off before moving into the bomb site, but nothing presenting itself here at the turn of the half. It looks like sAw will secure themselves the 8. Hedrick running out of time now. Smoke goes down and Mutsiris will find him in the head. So that is indeed the half, and it's better from bait, but will it be enough? The grand final still has not started for Bait here. They have given us something a little better in that first half, but if we are being real, it's the CT side of Nuke. Usually we would say that's not good enough. Keeping the hype alive for the grand final here of ESL Challenger Katowice. Alongside Neokai for this one. We got so much nadage bought up for the T side. We shall see what they can do with this. Bursting straight out. They've got a game plan. They're sticking to it. And thus far, a couple clean heads will indeed roll. It's not quite over just yet. 2 versus 3. Bomb will get planted now. I didn't quite catch if there was a kit down, potentially, with Agil's lack of money completely. There might just be one on the ground, but they still have to get through the head, still have to find a way into the bomb site. U-Jerk's walking out, trying to be cheeky, just can't land the headshots. I like the idea, it just won't happen for him. There comes the first. He needs a few more, and he's denied away. So Bait, with the all-important pistol, will keep their dreams alive here.
That's good to see as well. That means now that Bait, so far in this series, I've matched the tally that sAw have got in this map. 8 rounds is how much they've got across map number 1 in the first half of map 2. So at least now we can start talking about Bait coming alive a little bit. This round here, the next one as well, even if we do see a force out from sAw, they're just going to have much, much better firepower to work with. We do see that that force spike come through. It's a Story FAMAS, an MP9, a few upgraded pistols. They can still be a little bit scary. The only way to make these scary is sort of the way that Bait went about it, right? Where they get something just a little bit unorthodox and try and catch your opponent off guard. Don't let them play their game. We'll see what sAw try to do. Nate towards outside to break up in that smoke, but Bait hadn't pushed their way forward through it. The taps, how have they thread the needle there between all 4 of them? Oh, there we go.
Ah, I spoke too soon. So close. But not really going to be known about. I think certainly considered by sAw, but not as much information on this as they would perhaps hope. Roman, oh, got to be careful. They get a bit closer than I think he was ever expecting, but he still will back off with his life intact. Up into the raft as he quickly moves, calling for some rotations here as well. And it is this FAMAS, you know, the scariest weapon in the round, that makes its way all the way down. Is he going to be considered here is the big question. Nade goes in, minimal damage in all fairness. Smoke as well to slow them down at the obs window. Deagle on the edge of the smoke looks good. Roman chimes in. Story now activates for 2, and Alex is left upstairs with it all to do. Nothing coming for Bait, and sAw have read them like a book, rotated aggressively, and indeed it works out. Yeah,
Alex was meant to be like an insurance policy to catch rotations once they got the bomb down, but that's a luxury that they weren't given here. What a response out from sAw, and it might be only with the 1 casualty too on a force buy of that regard. Fair play. So both sides having success on the CT force buys. I normally don't like them, but they've proved me a little bit wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, they had somewhat of a game plan for it in the sense of, right, let's get a man set downstairs. As soon as we grab that information, we're all rotating in. You know, the very, very simple kind of strategy, but it ultimately pays off. A very, very, you know, force fight type round coming in from sAw, where they play it slightly looser, slightly less conventionally to just keep Bait on their toes, and they couldn't manage, you know, they couldn't manage it.
Exactly, and it really kills them in towards the next round as well. Because of the double eco, they have to reinvest back in, and they just don't bring a lot. In towards round number 15, we've got 1 Galil to work with. A couple of Deegs and a couple of Tech 9s, and Util, very thin, just 1 smoke in the back pocket of Captain Kirker. And he also doesn't even have any armor, so a fleshy being for him in this one, very spongy. I don't think he's going to survive, if I had to make a guess.
Big round here from Bait. They've got to lay down a little bit, take some guns away from sAw, because they will be so hard to penetrate into the follow-up rounds if they're able to continue buying. And I think for yourself as well, as so much pressure onto the next rifle. Maybe, just maybe they can do the impossible here with round 15.
Agil in towards Mustang holding. Has the support through main. Very timid here in the start from Bait. Not quite sort of one of those tack pauses about calling the tack pause. Oh, as Roman spams and he gets the bomb too. That might have even been heard as it drops. Roman could be good for another as well. Alex just walks straight past him and doesn't even clear. Materis, Agil all step up, and Roman, he starts it, he cleans it up, and he waves bye-bye to Bait as well as they're on the way to the first flight home at the moment. sAw getting ever closer to that trophy.
Again, I have to compliment him, man. What a move, you know, just honestly, no doubt in his mind, playing so very well despite the stakes that are on the line here, despite the fact that we do know Bait can shoot back. He finds that first kill and he's immediately moving, looking for more, reading his opponent so very well. This is so scary now for Bait. They don't even get a bomb plant there, so they are fully ecoing things out. It's going to be 11-5. They have to be unbelievably effective with the rifles for quite a long time if they are to find this cleanly. Maybe the overtime, but
It's true.
I think really they're not even thinking about that. They're just thinking about winning rounds, grinding it out here.
Yeah, you really love to see it as well from Roman. You know, coming towards this final, he's the 4th highest rated player at this event. And the way he's playing this final, it might even climb in towards the top 3. I mean, just the stats he's been putting up, I mean, absolutely bonkers. Another good couple of eco kills as well to even add to that tally. So far, this map, he's been looking really strong as well. And man, what a time to step up for him. So impressive. And it makes life so easy for sAw. Bait dwindling, running out of opportunities. They call in towards attack pause, and Madden once again tries his best to, you know, light the fire in this side, but it really feels like it's about to be put out. sAw, 2 rounds away from lifting that trophy right there. It's just so close, and I just can't see a world in which they don't. The pace at which they've played their Counter-Strike and just how clean it's been as well. Bless you, Madden. It's just one of those where you can't fault them.
Bait have to appear at some point, you say. Grand final here. So much on the line for them going into the uncertainty of next year and moving into the RMRs. It's going to be a dangerous prospect if they can't get themselves going against one of the bigger teams they may well have to play in this major cycle. MPL is gifted a kill. While I'm yapping away about the stakes, he'll take those easy ones. Story finds him through the smoke though, so still some ridiculousness for sAw, of course, but this doesn't look too bad for Bait.
No, Materis, he'll play into his credit. The only thing he needs to be worried about is that garage is not being held, so he has to double back. This is the right idea. Materis might get a drop here. Oh, and he can line up two as well. We're just not even thinking about the possibilities of an outside garage player. Materis gets a freebie of a double. The third might even gift itself over on a silver platter. But he runs out of ammo. And a Molotov at the toes are going to heat up the situation. Headtrick and Alex. Now, not Alex. I've got it all to do. 1v4. Headtrick, what have you got for us? The first ain't bad. The second doesn't even get its chance. sAw, map, series, grand final point.
Unbelievable. I mean, after he finds those 2 kills, I look down to the camera. Materis has just got like the biggest smirk on his face. He knew what he was doing, man. Right? You may well say, yes, he's not being considered, but he knew the timing of the clearance, knows that you got to check every single angle if you are moving in through the garage. And it was just absolutely perfect to find both of them facing the wrong way. But again, little things like that, both of them going to clear that angle,
exactly,
speaks to an uncertainty of Bait. Usually it's like, right, first man in, he's holding, I'll hold this one. You know, you got to trust the process. You got to trust the teammates.
It's all subconscious as well.
Exactly. Bait are not tapping into that subconscious at this point, and yeah, sAw just running rings around them.
You can even see,
on the first.
Like, sAw don't even need to calm these situations as well, right? Because the cohesion's so strong, which is, you know, first of all, credit. With a new player coming in, for your cohesion to be this good, it's just an absolute credit to them. MPL going to be the first to fall. Scriv, this might be already over.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Mac-10 trying to be the hero, not going to happen. Have done it, they take it over the line, no sweat off the brow. The unlikely team, I think, coming into this one, we'd not necessarily written them off, but given what we've seen on social media within the team itself, it felt like a tumultuous time, but it's anything but. A clean-looking sAw, a fantastic run from them in this tournament. They do not drop a map, and that